Oh my, the girls them sugar.
All right. Good night. It's your girl, Preston, alongside my co-host.
Platinum,
And you are certainly watching the Pinky and the Brain Talk Show. And we are welcoming in you this evening. And of course, we are starting with some Beanie Man in the background there, representing Jamaica in the house. Of course, we have Jamaica in the house.
Yes.
All right, so tonight, hoping that everyone out there had a lovely work week, a productive work week. You're taking care of yourself and each other, and you're living your best life. And you're focusing on you and taking care of your well-being, because it's important for us to get by in this world, in this rough, rugged world.
Prestige happy. She got a little machine back.
Yeah, they put all my business out on the street, Platinum. I can't do without that voiceover. Trust me. It's epic. No, I didn't. Oh boy. But again, for those of you who are tuning in, always nice having you. And in the New York City area right now, it's freezing. It's below 1. Platinum, you just came from outside. What's going on?
It's real cold out here.
Wow.
Shivering.
Yeah. But you brace for impact.
A long time I brace it, man.
Right. All right. So tonight, we have a very interesting topic. Yes, we have a very, very interesting topic, and tonight we are primarily discussing and asking and want to know what's going on with men out there, what's going on with our men, and the concern is, men are crying out internally. They are crying out for help. Men are crying out internally for help, and we need to sit down and have the discussion. We need to try to understand what's going on with our men. Platinum, you're a man. What do you think is going on with our men? Why are we, why are we seeing them becoming so violent towards our women?
Well, look, the feast, sir. The feast here on Black Panther, Yo! Prestige at the studio with the fish.
Yeah, because it's I'm trying to figure it out. It's deep. It's touchy. Let's see what's going on, Platinum.
Why we are crying for the EBT, we are crying for the EBT. Wow, food down the fridge. All right. I think a lot of men are getting.
Say that again.
A lot of men are getting abused inside the house, inside their house system, and don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
And financially, a lot of men are not financially stabilized.
Okay.
And they're crying out for help. And some of these ladies are treating the man them real bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason why we are taking this approach, we're trying to understand why so many men are becoming so violent towards. We are not beating up on men. So we somewhat discussing domestic abuse.
Yeah.
But we're looking at it where we're trying to find the layers of what's causing men to become so violent towards women. That it's becoming more rampant where they're actually, we're on social media, so we have to be careful of our terminologies, where they are extremely violent, if you will.
Against women?
Against women.
Well, all right, you are going now. Sometime my woman them fault,
Now that's your perspective, and you're not speaking with not agree with you. That's your perspective. So make sure you let us understand it's your perspective.
It's my perspective.
Okay.
Sometime on the world perspective too.
Okay.
Sometimes my woman them fault.
How? In what way are the women for Platinum?
Because right now the woman them a manufacture themselves. Remember, I said the woman them a do surgery now, bigger breasts, bigger butt, looking good. And then after the man pay him money, remember I said God give your ass free now, breast free. No, you want this man to pay for you forget a new breast, a new ass. See it?
Right.
And the man pay money for you get new ass and new breast.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want to leave the man.
Okay.
Because now you look good.
Okay.
And you look sparkling. The whole attention I come to you now. You
Right.
say, wow. Everybody say, no attention ain't coming now. It was one man. One man you have and one man alone you see I watch you.
Right.
And the man boots you up to grade E, you know. The world I watch you now. Now you want to leave.
Wow. So that's your view.
Yeah. So the man become very, very violent
Mm-hmm.
against the situation.
All right.
Yes, I want to hurt the lady. So
All right, Platinum. Well, that's a very interesting perspective here. I'm understanding and I'm not disagreeing with you.
some of the women them are termite, you know, termite. Them eat down your pocket.
Oh boy. All right, so you're speaking about financially wise.
Yeah.
You consider them to be termites and they're eating out your
Termites
pocket.
eat out your pocket.
Okay. So isn't it the man's isn't it the man's sensibility to have an understanding, putting aside the physical and the appearance, you have to look at the inner. So isn't it a man's duty to look inner, depending on his sensibility of, what he's looking for in a woman?
No. And when the woman ball out, I
Jesus.
say, baby, you don't love me. Come on, and do a breast. Come on, do my breast. I say, I'm my girl, you know. She there with me around 3 years now. I'm my girl, really. And truly, me, I give her the breast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because you want her to be happy.
Yes. Yes, you want your woman happy.
Okay.
And you give her the breast. And she said, baby, stop all again. Whoa, me let my ass big enough. Want a new butt. Want a butt lift, a butt change. Want round it up. And you say, I chew, you know. Come here, watch Kim Kardashian, you know. Come here, watch Kim Kardashian. But I chew. Come on, you're sexy. And say, no more, put on the G-string, but I can't put it on. And start ball to the man now. And the man say, I chew. Come on, see that too.
Oh, God.
You might watch porn. You never
Yeah.
know what a man is into. What is his fetish? What I'm really into. You can meet a man and you don't know what he's into. Sometimes a man is into porn. Sexually active porn. You understand? So probably I watch a porn, they might see girl in them G-string panty. And they want to see woman like that.
Okay.
So it makes you go do the butt lift and spend all our money. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, and then she want to leave him after she start get the attention. You see camera start, everybody start to cut them phone. Pow! You understand? I'm gonna say, boy, baby, you're sweeter than honey. She never hear that in her life. Sweeter than honey. You know what honey tastes like?
Right.
Wow! And you gotta tell her, say she's sweeter than honey. She leaving you because you never tell her that.
Right.
She start get roses are sent to her from all different directions. You don't send the roses, you just pay for the butt.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm trying to communicate with someone here because they are communicating with me in regards to the show. So give me a little minute, right?
Yeah.
So I am understanding and respecting your views, Platinum.
Yeah.
But it is not really what we want to really discuss. It contributes, and I'm not saying you didn't bring up a good point, but we want to really go in deep.
In
right?
deep?
Yes, you want
All
to
right,
go.
let me give
Okay, let's hear it.
let me give one deep one. One time I date a girl. I don't know if she gonna see this on Facebook.
Okay.
But you see it? Boy, she termite my pocket that day there.
All right.
Tear it down to the lowest form. We have 25 cents left in my pocket when she done with me. She then a dentist office. Not dentist office, yeah, dentist. I'm out well big so. And she have to do an operation for must take out the I don't know if it
abscess.
Yes. And that you call it abscess?
Yeah, the inflammation in her mouth.
Yes.
So you kissing girls with
you
inflammation,
mean?
yuck.
Wow, you feel like
Yuck.
suck out her tongue too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she have the inflammation now out now. So them say them not let her out of the emergency. Cause them do the surgery. Them
Right.
say them not let her out until the money come.
Right. So you have to pay the money.
So when she called me now, I'm reached down there, she said, Rubes. So I have to call one of my brethren now and meet him at a certain point. Cause me dead broke, you know, broke. Prestige. When me mean me broke.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But me can't make the dental office know say me broke. And me can't make she know say me broke.
All right.
So I call one of my friends and I say, I give back the money Friday. I say, all right.
Uh-huh.
Meet him at the bank. So I just meet him at the bank and him give me the money and I just go at the dental office and go so and pay the money like me about a big shot.
Okay.
Next week, the girl left my man.
No. Oh, well, I think she was just using you, Platinum.
Next week, the girl left me a Facebook message, she a big marriage.
Oh boy! So she got her mouth fixed up in order to prepare herself for her groom.
May I tell you?
That's what she did.
She take me for a big idiot, turn my name down my pocket. Wicked.
All right. Well, again, I understand everything you're saying, and I contribute, and I can understand where this is heading and where it's linking to, because we can primarily say that maybe based on how some women carry about themselves towards men, not showing a lot of appreciation, using and abusing them in many ways, that they can turn on them. And remember, a man, he has feelings and he can be hurt.
Let me not tell you.
So sometimes certain things, depending on the man's mental, he can become violent, right?
Yeah, 3 years, I'm not sleeping on my bed for that. You know?
Oh Lord, poor soul.
I think I say a dental office.
All right. So what I am getting at here, right? And again, Platinum, I respect your views.
Yeah.
A lot of men for the past 5 years or so, it's become very, very terrible. They are taking women out. Now I'm using my words very carefully. I don't want to use the real word because, again, social media, and I don't want to get blocked for anything. They are taking women out and they are putting them 6 feet under. That's where I'm heading. That is what the discussion is about, right? And we're trying to understand, why are men taking women out? They're also taking women out, taking themselves. There are some men, they take out your entire family.
Yeah.
And I can understand what stress level is going on. What is not paying attention to these men? What childhood issues evolved and spill all this hate and despise and dislike and ruction, that they are using no other option but violence.
Sometimes it's love.
Well, love doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
You don't hurt what you love.
No.
Love not supposed to hurt.
No, man. Sometimes love hurt. Wicked.
All right. Well, I am seeing and understanding, and based on experiences as well as studying while I was attending university and different things, it's a culmination of a lot of different things. And I highly believe that one of the contributions for men who are being destructive in society in regards to violence towards women, and we're not beating up on men, we're trying to understand what's going on with them. I think it has a lot to do with the household.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with upbringing. It has a lot to do with the mother and her parenting skills. It has a lot to do with the father and his.
No, I don't think so.
Well, you can beg to differ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Platinum, a boy, he gets the experience and learns certain things from home. That's your first teacher in anything you do in life. It's your parents. True or false?
True.
Right. And when we get out into the real world, we follow suit to our peers and other people that we meet along the way.
Yeah,
correct?
But remember say you have some system, dog, you know.
I understand. But what I'm trying to get at, Platinum, is when a father walks out on a family based on whatever is your reason, and he leaves a young man behind with a woman, single mother, if you want to call it that, or unmarried woman, whatever it is, and she has to pick up that torch and that responsibility to become now man and woman, because it's for a woman it's a little different to raise a boy, to turn him into a man, right? There are certain things she really cannot show him or express to him. His father needs to be there for that.
Round of applause for that.
Right?
Round of applause. Round of applause.
His father needs to be there for that. So, with that being said, you find that he goes out into the world with some hurt and some disparities, not understanding why dad did what he did. Depending on how the mother labeled dad, if she spoke about him bad, well, it's worse. Did she speak about dad in a good way? But making the son understand that dad and I, we have our indifferences, but we both love you just the same. It's just that dad and I cannot share the same space. But dad walking out doesn't mean that he's not a part of your life and he'll always be around. Now, that is if the man chooses to demonstrate that, because there are a lot of men, they will walk out based on the relationship not going well with the mother, but they're still playing a positive and impacting role in the son's life.
Right.
Now, I'm primarily saying son because we're looking at men, right? We're talking about men tonight. So we'll shift the girls aside for a little bit. Good? Right. So if he doesn't have that solid, even if dad went away, but he still played a major role, and he never disappointed him, and he was always there, and he always rolled up when he said he was going to, and he always had him when he had supposed to, and he always spent money and financially and make sure that everything is taken care of. He went to the football games with him. He went to the baseball games. He went to the cricket games. Whatever games, he's always there. Despite of what woman he moved on with, despite of what new family he moved on with, he's still present. But the minute that role flips and he's totally, totally absent, a young man does a triple whammy, and he is ready to tell society, you know what? Nobody cares about me. The main person who is supposed to care about me as a male figure in my life is dad, and he turned his back indefinitely. He's gone. I have to show this world that I am tough, rough, and rugged, and I am ready to face you guys in whatever way you decide to accept me. And a lot of times, Platinum, unfortunately, it dishes out violence. Now, there's a 1% of young men who turns out pretty good based on this type of what they came from. But just a large percent, and we're speaking globally.
Yeah.
These young men turn into men who are violent, who are hurt, right? And hurt people, it passes on into their life. It passes on into relationships with their women. It passes on into relationships with their children. And there are women, if they are left behind with these young men, depending on the approach that they take, right? Or if it's too much for them to bear, they can't go the whole mile. They cannot go the whole mile. So you find again the young man, he makes a detour, and his peers will be his first option, especially if it's a negative peer group. He follows and he gets into the nuisance of society, right? If he grew up where he kept dad, kept beating or abusing mom, he learned that behavior, right? Everything we extradite, we learn. It's a learned behavior. So he may start to pass on that violence because that is what he learned. That is what he knows. And this is what we're trying to understand. And I have someone to bring in tonight with us. She's calling from Trinidad. She's going to join us pretty soon. I'll bring her in. She is a recipient who experienced domestic violence.
Okay.
And she's willing to come on and, share some views with us. So I don't want to take over the topic too much. I think I'll bring her in now and let us see what she has to say. All right. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. You seeing us clearly?
Yes. Hi.
Wave.
Oh, me look.
Listen, she adores Pinky. She says, "Oh my gosh, I like Pinky. I like
Wow.
Pinky."
A round of applause. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, me look. All right, me look good. Yeah.
That's all he wants to know, if he looks good.
I like Pinky. I like it.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you.
Okay, Pinky, honey, I think you need to come in your frame a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So, Lowell, pleasant good night.
Oh, pleasant good evening to every one of you.
Right.
And thank you for having me.
Right.
Pinky
Welcome to the
Brain.
Pinky and the Brain
Brain
Talk
Talk
Show. Let's
Show.
give her applause. So, before I brought you in, I was just sharing with the audience and sharing with Platinum, and we were going through some things in regards to why men do what they do, It's a correlation. We're trying to look in, as I always say, dig into the source to understand what's going on with our men of the for the past decade, I guess. I'll take it back to a decade, that they have come more violent than ever. And a lot of times when they are leaving, if they decide to end their lives, they are taking women with them. Um, I know you had experienced domestic violence in the past, so you decided to accept our invitation and join us to express some ideas and some experiences that you may have. And also, I know
Okay.
you're working towards in the Point Fountain area in Trinidad, there in the south, that you are trying to work with a group to bring men together, which is a beautiful thing because men need to have their own personal forum where they can sit down, chat, and discuss. And
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, tonight, the highlight we are looking at tonight is we're saying, men internally, men do cry, and the men they are crying out for help, right? So,
Yes, yes.
what do you have to add to that? Take the floor.
Again, thank you for having me.
Me.
And cover my background was not domestic in my family, but as a young mother, I was being treated badly by male, sexually molested, and being pregnant at a young age. I didn't understand certain things. And bringing children, especially the first as a man, as a male, and not having that man around, I was sick that I have to be the mother and the father one. But there's no way I could be that man. So I do the best that I can of what I see. And with that, there comes the abuse that my son, because I wanted to grow up to be this child that is perfect, don't want him to make the same mistake as me. But then understand there's a value of a father because I never had time. So I think it was normal, but it was not normal for my son to grow up without knowing who his father is. And that has traumatized him because I was never able to speak to him about the truth. And the truth is that most women find circumstances because of society how they look, and they want to portray that. I can do it. I don't need a man.
So let me
But
ask you a question.
truly,
Let me ask you a question. You never get
correct.
to talk to your son. You never get
Pardon
to
me?
talk to your son about his father.
When he was about 18, I get the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to sit with him. But he was so messed up that when he finished speak, he left. So he never get the opportunity to hear from me as a mother who is his father and the reason why I did what I did. I didn't say what I did was right. I think I was trying to protect my son, but in reality is that he should have known who his father is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right.
He should have that thing if he wants to part his life or not.
Right.
So he didn't have the opportunity to say that because I made that decision as a mother and I wanted to protect my son.
Right. True. Understand that.
Yes.
So let me ask you something. In no time, in no part of the relationship, right? This is just a new terminology that's in the system right now, right? We call these people system dog. In no time in the relationship, he was a system dog.
I think you may have to clarify for her what
What a
system
system
does.
dog is a person that is like a termite with tear down the man pocket.
Mm-hmm.
In no time in your relationship,
It was.
you never
It
try to
was.
tear down the
That's the
pocket.
person because I wouldn't say the kind of life he was living.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate it.
What type
And I
of
was a
life he
young
live?
girl. I wouldn't say everything on air. I've
Okay.
been very cautious.
All right. All right.
But it was not to me a father figure like that I would have want to be an example. But that still didn't give me the right to tell son the truth.
True. 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 True.
He should have known the truth for himself and he should have make his own decisions. But I think I was young, you know. And today my son is only 5 and he said, hey,
Wow. The son never reach out back to you.
no, we try different avenues. I do try because I was he needs to hear it from mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I did what I did.
So you never get a chance to meet him father.
Yes. You get a chance to meet him. Now they have a relationship. You
So
know,
you think father turning against you?
well, he said against me. No, he never. I was the one who pulled back because I thought that changed, and I would have loved my son with him, knowing him. But he didn't. He still haven't changed. He's still the same person.
All right. So during the course of his growing years, um, I think resentment and dislike kind of stabilize his mental towards you. Now,
Yes.
that doesn't mean that he doesn't love you, because he certainly is not going to stand up and watch anyone cause any harm to you. He's going to defend his mother.
No, he
But
will.
the part of um, the discussions that you guys need to have, and he doesn't want to sit down and indulge and accept it, that is making him have resentment for you.
Yes.
So definitely there's a conversation that you guys have to have at some point, right?
Yes.
With that being said, we draw that as an example. Um, for many young men out there, something fused, something bubbled, something certain attributes that they demonstrate on the outside there, and then these men run into relationships with women. And if a hurt man, just as a hurt woman, but we're speaking about hurt men tonight. If a hurt man, right, especially with childhood issues, tries to get involved into a relationship, turmoil and heartache and devastation erupts. True or false?
True.
True. Right? So maybe we can use your son as an example if that's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Right. So you and this is the thing, because a hurt man getting involved into a relationship, right? Maybe he sees that woman as the epitome of the person who could be there for him, because he never really had that. Okay, and we started this relationship and we started growing and we started building. But some part of me have a resentment towards a female. The female isn't you, the female is my mom. I also have a resentment towards my father, right? So that inner thing, it's submerging the true sense of loving that woman. Now it's not that he doesn't love her, but to bring out that true love, because remember trust issues, right?
Yeah.
So
He does.
everything around that, and trust issues normally cause people to get possessive, right? Once you have trust issues, you become possessive because you're concerned about everything. Oh, why didn't call me this time? Oh, why didn't you do this? Why did he talk to you? Why I saw you? Why did you take so long? Blah 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 blah. Right? So we're trying to find out now, and we pretty much seen a correlation that a lot of childhood issues for a lot of men out there are causing a certain disruption into them growing and still holding on to certain things and not letting go. And for every individual, it's different. I may be able to let go very easily. Platinum may not be able to.
No, me not let go easy.
Right? So now with everything building and building, once that man places that certain trust and the woman takes it for granted, or she hurts him in some particular way, or she runs off with his best friend, or she met him with everything built. She didn't help him build anything, but she came in to take everything that he owns, right? He's now feeling like he's going back to a childhood reflection. This woman is playing a role pretty much the similar how my parents dealt with me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, it
Yes,
makes sense.
go ahead.
So he's getting a reflection because remember, for years and for a long time, it took me a while to trust because based on the parenting, what was delivered. Now, it's not his fault, but as I told Platinum earlier, it's not a child fault and mommy and daddy didn't work out. We just didn't work out. But the we not working out, we still there for our child or children.
Right, true.
Right? But what we saw is a lot of men, when they turn their backs, it's an indefinite turn back. You have men who would say, you know what, yeah, dad will come for you this weekend. And the poor little child, he will be sitting there with his bags packed. And dad never shows up. A simple thing like that causes a man to grow up with certain feelings and emotions towards life.
True.
Right?
But
You're going to say something?
May I add to that? A lot of times, we women are responsible for that, for allowing a man to run because of our attitude. And we tell we can be ourselves, we do it earlier, or we tell we have a job, and we put ourselves in a place where we make the man feel.
Mm-hmm.
So that have a lot to do with the man mindset.
Well, the disrespect and not respecting.
But that's
Right?
it.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, Platinum is a man. At the end of the day, if a man wants nothing more, he wants respect from a woman.
That's right.
Yes, true or false, Platinum?
Remember, say me a chicken, you know, so. Me a chicken.
So what that means? He had to turn everything in a joke. What does that mean, Platinum? Platinum, come on, what does that mean?
Man, 100% real man.
Well, you said it, I didn't. Wow, he said he's not 100% real man because he's Platinum chicken. Platinum need baptized and he needs deliverance. All right, so back to the source. All right, so this is why we looking discussing Noel.
Yes.
Why are so many men doing harmful acts and they are taking women with them? This is my real concern, and this is going on, it's very rampant. And again, we can go back. Some people will say no, some people will beg to differ, but I highly believe, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist. During my course of university academia years, I learned a few things so I can apply, and as well as experiences. So this is what I'm going by, right? And you find a lot of men, they are crying out for help. Now remember, society already structured men from back in the day up till now that you mustn't cry. You must stand up, you must face the world, you must deal with the world. No matter what load on your shoulders, you have to man up, right? And a lot of men, there are so many things for a man to deal with in this world. Because I always say, and I always say it, that women didn't build this world, man did.
Wait just.
Women did not build the world, it's men. Women didn't put up all those big buildings and build all those subways and all these things. Men did it.
So you have woman contractor, you know, you have woman contractor.
Yeah, because they're trying to fill a man's place. They're trying to fill that gap. But at the same token, women need to understand sometimes we need to not to be so masculine and try to stay in our role, stay in our lane.
That's right.
Wow.
Not only that,
You know, so I know you not answer my question. You know, you not answer my question, I know, you know.
go ahead.
Let me ask about, have you ever in your relationship, this is a new talk, and social media. And it's called
Yes, yes.
system dog. A system dog is labeled as a termite. Or you eat down the man pocket. Have you ever tried to eat down your baby father pocket before?
Meaning just taking money from him.
Never.
No, no.
Why you good man? Get a round of applause for that.
I work hard for what I think I need to have as a woman. And I still work hard to provide for them.
Yeah.
And I think men on the whole need to understand the value and worth. And they could only understand when they understand their purpose. And the purpose is God. Right? I believe God has created a foundation. And the foundation is from the very get-go. And if men stand up and learn to take responsibility, very important. As much as you are to make it, but show that I will be a father. I will be the man.
But sometimes them try, but the woman not allow them.
Well, I can tell you that. I had my way too.
Okay.
I tried a lot to push away. I tell my boys every time, I'm sorry. Because I believe as a woman, I had the same bad attitude. I still not perfect,
You still not
but I'm
perfect.
really
You still have the attitude though.
yes.
Yeah.
Gonna have
Can see
more.
it. So you don't play.
I'm working.
You're
I'm
working
working.
on it.
But I let it stand.
Like that.
That's why we are having our men hunters in Point Fortin.
So are you bring the man them together?
All men.
All man?
All men from different paths coming together in one avenue just to be a part of atmosphere where it's going to be for men, where they can have their own voice and other men that speak into their life, so that we can help them as well. Because we have to apologize because we have heard that due to what them go through.
Woman
As we-
apologize to man? That will never happen.
I will
Well,
do that.
well, Platinum, this is the
They can
thing
do
because you are taking a negative approach from the get
I
go.
can-
You
I can
cannot
do that.
say that. You have to make attempts, you have to make strides. And
Yeah,
if, for
yeah.
instance, there's a forum that is open to men to sit down and have discussions to understand what's going on in your life, what's going on with you. Are you hurting? What's causing such and such? What experiences are causing you to act like this? What experiences are causing you to hurt like this? And you're willing to sit down and talk about it and stop trying to be that extra man and manning up so hard and just sit down and have the conversation, we can make strides.
That's why I'm telling me a chicken.
So let me ask you this as a man, you have never cried in your life?
What? Prestige. A biggest cry at but me. I want prestige. When me a cry now, come like polo spring, you know.
Polo and spring, not
Spring
polo.
water just a come down. Come like
Right.
river. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you have your moments that sometimes there's so much going on with you and so much you're doing that you just stop for a moment and you just think about life. And your life may not be hard and difficult as some other
When me a
men.
cry,
Yeah.
no, me not think about life.
What do you think about?
Me just go and eat the shit and ball. Me no bother watch TV or lay in my bed.
Yeah, but if you want to give us an example, maybe one instance, what made you cry?
What prestige? When I go on Facebook
Oh Jesus.
and I see the big marriage you are going,
Mm-hmm.
dash me up instantly, prestige.
You mean from the girl that you liked?
What? Let me lie.
Right.
I'm more than like, you know.
You okay, so you had loved her.
Infatuation.
Infatuation.
Yeah.
Right. So did that change you somehow? Did you start looking at women, viewing women differently?
No, I don't view a woman differently, you know. We just structure me thing different.
Right.
And art not my art and put a wall between it.
Right.
So you know, cry again.
So this is what I'm saying. And this build up, this structure that you're putting up, it can be very damaging.
No, not no. to the relationship.
To you as an individual, to you as a person.
No, make you a better person. Make you a better person.
Well, that's what you're
All
telling
right.
yourself in your mind,
No,
but platinum deep
no,
down,
no, no, no.
Okay,
See,
okay,
see, all right.
all
Here where
right.
you are short, you know.
All right.
You're not showing a negative, but you're sidetracking it.
Mm-hmm.
When a man put up a wall in his system against certain things, that means you see the next woman come hurt him now go kill her, you know. Because he put up that wall and he will walk away. He might tell her too bad, you know. And two things where hurt her real bad.
Right.
Right? But him now go put him hands on her and now kill her.
Okay.
You see the man when he put up a wall and him at the killer.
Oh, okay. Now I'm understanding you. Lowell, do you agree or disagree with that?
I think it goes both ways. Both women and man put up this wall.
Yes, man, you have to.
To protect their space.
You have to protect yourself first,
Right?
you know.
Right?
Okay.
You got to. I'm telling you
95%.
Right.
he said there was a relationship right? And
What?
he was moved as a narcissist.
Right.
And I didn't understand. This man was hurting me so bad.
Hurt people, so obviously he was a hurt person.
telling you.
Right.
I have to put up a wall because I didn't intend to get hurt again.
See?
You know, and I think
Right.
it goes in both ways.
Okay.
Once you see something coming, you must even see a red flag to recognize if this is where you want to be, or you don't want to be here. And as you grow older, you get experience things. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
When you were growing up, was your father there with you?
No, we never have a father figure till after
Good,
40.
good.
After 40.
So what guided you to be the man that you are today?
When he put me out, when he put me to the streets, when he put me out of my house, I mean I look somewhere for sleep, like bus stop. We are look all around. So that guide me right there, you know, to be a man for myself. You understand? And structure my thing for myself. He never guide me into the woman world, you know. Into the relationship world. He just guide me to structure myself and know what I want for myself. And know what me and head for myself, because we don't want to sleep out of do again. We don't want to look on the bus and say this we are asleep. Eh?
Where were your mom in this?
Where was your mother?
We never know no mother and no father when me grew up. We never know no mother and no father when me grew up.
Right. So
no mother, no father.
So then I would somewhat classify you as a man who's carrying some hurt to some point.
Like what?
Based on what you just explained.
Yeah, like explain what.
Deep down inside of you, there are certain things that are playing mother and father and you didn't grow up with. So that's something that you are missing internally.
No, we're not missing that internally.
No, you see, you're in denial and you don't want to accept it. You don't want to look at it like that.
My grandfather.
And we are not saying no, but they are not the ones who are responsible for you. The ones who are responsible for you are mother and father.
No,
your grandmother.
No.
Platinum, can you listen?
No,
your grandmother and grandfather, they were just replacements. But biologically, it's your mother and father responsible for you. Based on the fact that your mother and father was not fully there, right?
You
as much as you want, but that deep down causes some type of trauma in some type of way for an individual.
No, it never caused a trauma for me, because it's my granny love. It's just like a mother love.
And that is the replacement.
Yeah.
That is the replacement, because that is what you're telling yourself within your mind. Go through another day in life. But deep down, it is not like that.
No, it's like that, Prestige. It's like that.
All right.
100%. See, my grandmother.
I think what I try to
understand is that
what Platinum is saying is that when he was on the street, he recognized himself, come to himself and said, this would happen to me, or I wouldn't do that to my own children.
Yeah, definitely.
So he has learned the street way, and he have learned from my parents. We are here for you. So now you have to take the initiative and be that protector.
True.
So he still had that male and the female around him to guide him into who he wants to be, because he didn't want to be that person that his father did.
Right. But
So
at
I
the same
understand that
token,
point.
All right. Maybe if me have a man,
What Michelle is saying as well,
yeah.
because if you don't deal that with the reality that you were not there, or your father wasn't there for you, and you were there for your children, I'm hoping that you are still there for them. The
he doesn't
trauma
have
of
to.
what you have gone through that you didn't deal with, it could fall on your third and fourth generation. Think about it. You have to be open to speak of how you feel while you were out there. You have to be open to share so that your children will understand. Hey, I don't want you all to do this. I want you all to understand. So that's why I'm here for you. But it has some trauma in the background that it makes you who you are today.
Right. True. True.
So you had some ways you had that look. But what about the person that didn't have that father or mother or uncle to replace that? No, I have a friend. She's in prison. She
Yeah.
had a daughter while she was in prison. And that daughter didn't know who was her father or mother. She grew up with the grandparents calling them mommy and daddy.
Right. Right.
But society was waiting for her to reach a certain age where they can grab at her. So she started to react because again, girl, her father, mother, so she didn't know that because she grew up with the grandparents knowing that they are her mother. So the trauma began at the age was I think was about 6 or 7 with her. Coming to realize things and didn't live it up to understand. So when people say that we have somebody there for us, but society would make it easy for you, to become the person that you're supposed to be, because you were not there with father and mother who's supposed to be nurturers.
No, that's a lie.
An
That's a
example
lie.
as for you.
No,
Well,
no.
Platinum, I
Wait,
don't
hold
think
on
you
now.
need to be so harsh.
Hold on
I
now.
just think you need to understand that we have differences and we're all entitled to that.
95%, 95% of the youth them who grew up without a father and a mother come out better than the youth them who
No,
grew up with father and mother, you know.
no,
It
Platinum.
seems
That tell you that.
No,
95%.
no,
Ah, look at
no,
Shaq. Look at
no.
Shaq, the big basketball player.
You have a 1 or 2% of that, Platinum.
No, 95% of the youth them will not have the father and mother. Come on, better than the youth them who have father and mother, you know.
Okay, I'm not
it
saying
is
no, but the
exactly.
percentage is not so high.
Yeah, man.
The
The percentage.
no, Platinum.
Yeah, man. The percentage high, man.
The percentage is not so high, Platinum.
Ca-
Okay, let's stop.
Yeah.
Let's stop. If you want us to get real, let us target the black families, the black communities, compared to all the other ethnic groups. Most of these children grow up with both mother and father. Yes, you may have little differences. Yes, you may have a few who comes out a certain way with mass shooting and you have other stuff, right?
And some of them come out as scruff.
Listen to me. But a child, any sensible person knows, any child who grows up in a home with the mother and the father, and they had a proper foundation to deal, or we're not talking about parents who are irresponsible when raising children. We're speaking about parents who did the right way that it's supposed to be as a family unit. A lot of times these children come out pretty. Understand me? I'm not saying that you wouldn't have a batch of children who probably took their own way, but children who grew up privileged and always had it, and they were always offered certain things, and they always had mom and dad there, and dad was supporting and mom was supporting. The possibility they turn out a little better in society, unlike a child who had just have access to father, not being able to have access to dad, and dad is constantly turning his back and not making it. There's a big difference in that platform.
No, man. Some of them. When some of the youth them who have mother and father come out to the cross in a life.
You have to say a percentage because you have to give a statistical approach. You cannot make it seem like, because if you take a global approach, you will get probably a 5% globally. The majority of, and that's why I compared other ethnic groups. The group that who suffers this the most are the black parents in black family households. We have it worse than other ethnic groups. When coming to mother and father, being the head of the household, walking hand in hand, and raising a nice, simple family. There is something going on, and it is stemming from us having childhood experiences that we get involved. We become married, we have children, but there's some type of turmoil rupturing in there because most of us, Platinum, including myself, right, came from a single parenting household. And a single listen to me. I am not saying I didn't turn out bad, but I could have, where love and thing is concerned, I could have come out better because my father is supposed to be my first love. And if my first love is absent, how do you think when I get out there I am going to react and deal with men? Because I wasn't taught. And this is what I'm trying to understand. Your mother is your first love. You the representation. No, Platinum,
my mother can't be my first one. And she never raised me.
You see, Lord, are you seeing how the rage is coming out? This is what we're talking about. So he's trying to disguise it, but the minute we highlight his mother, he gives you this energy of a rage.
No, but she can't. No.
You're not understanding what we're telling you. Your mother biologically.
My grandmother is my first love.
Platinum.
Who you see now? All right.
Platinum, can I finish, Platinum?
Let me ask you a question.
Platinum, you're making this like a parliament.
All right, go on, talk.
Right?
Go on, talk.
We are going in parliamentarian style. This is not parliament, Platinum.
All right, go on.
Platinum, all I'm saying is biologically, your mother is your first love.
No.
Can I finish without you saying no? We're speaking in general. Right. As a female, my father is my first love. As a male, when coming to women, your mother, that's your first love.
No,
that's
can't be my grandmother, my first love.
So you seen how the hurt is still toting. He is still, but yeah, because you are carrying a hurt, Platinum. Because the minute we talk about your mom, you get defensive, and you keep telling us that your grandmother is
first love. We will never take that from
Right.
her.
We understand that, but we are telling you, see? Loyal, this is where we know that men, he is a perfect example why men need to sit down and talk.
No, me not.
That's right.
Yep, this is an example why men need to sit down and talk, because no matter what we're trying to explain to him biologically, you have something called nature versus nurture. Nurture has to do with the environment. Right? What we born into, what we grow up into, what we see, what molds us. That's nurture. And nature is the parenting, is coming out of the womb, is the household, is within the home. What you're grown into, what you brought up into, that is the nature part of who you're attaching yourself with. And the first attachment we get, our first love, I don't care what anybody says, psychologically, it's your mother and father. And based on the kind of treatment you get from these people, based on the absence or the whatever you get from those people, when you get older as an adult, that is how you are going to deal in your relationships.
That's right.
So like
I am going to put it out there. I have an issue for a very long time dealing with men and showing love. I battled it. I stifled it. I battled it. I was hard. I was gravel, right? Because I didn't have that man in my life to show me the true ways in loving a man, which was my father. And it has nothing to do with sexuality, or it has nothing to do with intimacy. So don't go and think no dirty mind. It is the fact that the father was not there to express and let me know and show me how a man's supposed to treat me. Let me understand what a man's supposed to do from what he's not supposed to do. Let me understand how the value. Thank you, Lowell. All these things, vice versa with you, Platinum.
No.
Your mother was.
No, it's so like how you hurt. I don't mean. Like how you
But I am accepting, I'm taking accountability, and I'm telling you, I am telling you the reason for it. You are not the reason. The minute we discuss and bring up your mother, it's like a whole can of worms open up. So this is clearly stating that he has his personal hurt and it's been hidden, and he keeps running to the grandmother, but she cannot save you. You have to unleash, you have to unravel, and you have to deal with it.
And it could have second grand.
Well, when you go home tonight, you wouldn't be able to sleep good.
Lowell, what you say? What you say, Lowell? What you say? What you say? Yeah,
what we are saying to you is the truth. Let me just welcome my good friend online, Trinidad.
Yeah.
Hi, Monique.
My PRO, Eagles Women Soaring High, Hunter's Nest 2023. And I'm a darling. Monique. Platinum, let me tell you something.
Yeah, go on.
Reality is, Mom and Dad was there for you. Your grandmother was there. A lot of parents in the Caribbean. A lot of Caribbean. My mom and father, my grandmother was always there. But as you grow older, and you conversation, you hear, boy, my mother come watch me play football today, or come and play. And I don't have come and look for my play football. I call Granny. So when Granny comes out, she sit down and she grandson.
Right, let me drink
Listen
something.
to me. Granny brings support. But the minute you say, the other school friend say, "Hey, mommy, it's not my grandma." But no, we always grandmother always say, mother.
Exact. Thank you.
When I was going to school in Jamaica, they asked me that.
No, you know my mother, you're defensive because Granny's the one day we are mother for. You get aroused because why? Deep down, you really missing that mother.
Me never miss it.
You're in denial. No, that's
denial.
That's denial.
I'm a grandma. I'm a boss. Me not sell her out.
That could affect your generation. That could affect your generation.
No, it not affect no generation. Make the generation.
By the way, are you a committed father?
He doesn't have children.
What kind of father?
You have no children. So you have no children.
0.0. My sperms count 0.
Why?
Don't ask me. Go ask the president who run the United States of America.
I think you don't want to be a trend because of what you have experienced as a child.
In the condom.
Oh gosh, Lord have mercy. He said, ask the condoms about it. Oh my God, I have a co-host here, boy. Pinky and the Brain Talk Show. Take over the world.
Yeah.
So you have no children.
No children. The toilet have them and the condom have them. Eh?
You don't want to have any.
Me not tell you, say, the toilet have my kids them and the condom have them inside of it.
So you're going to ask a question.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a
No, 0.0.
Why?
Because it's cold. It's cold.
It's what?
He said it's cold.
It's cold?
Yeah. Society is very cold.
How many society cold?
You about a thing called child support.
If you say grow up with your grandparents show you certain things and love and affection and be demanded today, you should be happy to be a father so that you can teach your children the values that you were thought. So how come you not
me never get that no value, you know.
All right.
Just was nurtured good.
Michelle.
We have a gentleman here. I'm glad we're discussing this topic who's a perfect example of what, don't look at me, of what,
everything just turned,
and I'm glad.
About domestic violence.
But this is what we're trying to get to. A lot of men, no, I didn't say because a man is crying out, he's going to commit harm, he's going to cause hurt. Right? There are men who could be going through certain things and they have self-control. But then there are men, they are going through certain things and they do not have that mental self-control, and this is where the damage begins.
Yeah.
That's
right.
The damage start from then.
Okay, Platinum. We're not pointing fingers at you. We're just having a discussion, and you are getting very.
Moses.
Yeah,
You're
because
very,
of the
yeah, he getting very feisty and touchy towards me.
yeah, yeah.
And we are
Because
realizing we
because
are
you
grumbling.
just said,
Yeah.
he just said everything is in a bag. It's
Yes,
cold.
we are provoking. We are provoking something
So
within
Sure, it's in the
this
bag.
gentleman
Sure,
here.
how
it is
it
a bag.
is to be a dad. You don't have that feelings of father. You don't have to prove that you know. I should be that man talking to me. You know,
Yes,
I am
I
a sure because you always say things in a bag. Sure.
Throw it in the bag. You ever hear the girl ever say they gonna get that bag?
Oh God! You see what I have to
You
deal
never
with?
come see no.
Yes,
You
I
see what I have to
understand.
deal with? Right.
If I run my clothes, Michelle.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! The discussion is going nice. Time is, we may go a little extra, a little few minutes extra. Time is running out. Time goes so fast.
Yes, time goes
But
so fast.
I think this discussion needs to go on and on within many different communities and groups.
Yeah.
And
I think men need help. Men need help, and if they could acknowledge,
yeah, and when it comes to men, it's not one particular race.
That's right.
However,
That's right.
black
That's
men
right.
have a harder struggle.
Yes, I
That is,
believe that.
we
Yes,
understand that.
I believe that.
Right? Black men have a harder struggle. But when we're speaking about men hurting, we're speaking about all men, because many men in different ethnic groups, they all go through
That's
certain
right.
pressures, certain stress,
right.
certain everything. So we're not just labeling, but we're just saying in general, right? And there are many contributions. The woman you
That's right.
choose can
That's
make you or
right.
break you, right? And if your mental is not strong based on what she delivered to you, it could cause havoc, and you could just flip out, or what we call it, snap. A lot of men, they snap and cause some type of havoc and hurt, right? And again, a lot of these men are taking us with them, right? I've never seen it that rampant as in the past 10 years, that every time you look at your television, every time you read the newspaper, you saw some type of atrocious act where the man, he took himself, he took the woman with him.
And they take the kids them.
There are some of them,
Yeah.
they take their children with them.
Yeah.
All right. Don't for glad. Don't give me a round of applause, Give me a round of applause. And I'm
Michelle, you know one of the things.
I
Michelle,
think,
you know one of the
Platinum,
things.
I think I applaud you for being a responsible man, and a responsible black man who never took the approach to throw and have kids all
That's
over
right.
the place.
Yeah,
That
give
is
him that.
beautiful.
Yeah, give him
right?
that.
I applaud you for that. Good. But I think also, you probably, based on what you experience, I think you're trying to block where you don't want your children to go through that.
Give me a round of applause, though. Give me a round of... You hit the... Oh, my God.
So I think he's trying to avoid having children to not go through the experiences he had in his childhood. And I think...
Thank you.
I think you're hurting yourself, Platinum.
No, I'm not hurt myself.
I think you're hurt because you're riding a very scary train. You're trying not to make a family because you didn't have a family in growing up. So you're trying to not have a family. And this clearly, ladies and gentlemen, this is a prime example of a gentleman who is hurting.
Yes, I cry out. I cry out.
The honesty. The honesty. Michelle, you see, that's a thing. Michelle, you see, that's a thing. It come out.
My part of the ball out family.
So you see, Platinum. So you see, this is where we need. This is where we need the discussion. This is where we need the to be open. That is why I'm having open forum. We are having this forum, men, because we want them to. We want them to express themselves. We want them to ball out. No, I'm telling you.
So, hold on. Maybe ask a question. So I said to him, set me up. I said to him, set me up. To cry out. Got it up in here, cry out,
You need to talk. You need to
talk
other men.
No,
Listen, Lowell, we are dealing with an individual. Of course, Platinum is Jamaican. So he is coming from a culture where they're very homophobic and certain things when coming to men. So anything you try to embellish upon Platinum, when coming to men, sit down and talk, he would demonstrate a type of behavior that he's not interested based on the man thing. So he's probably trying to say he cannot see himself just sitting down and talking with a bunch of men.
No, I bet me you talk.
That's the only way
And things like this is what's going to cause it. Because, mind you, in Jamaica, perfect example, Jamaica, Trinidad, similar. I've seen things on YouTube. Read things. A lot of Jamaican men, they are taking women with them, or they are taking women out. And this again is because maybe they don't believe that they should sit down and talk with anybody. There is nothing better than a group of men who share similarities, who are sharing society's burdens, who are sharing society's struggles, that either you're poor, rich, or indifferent, that you guys could sit down in a group, right? And express the same emotions and feelings that you are having in regards to your life, in regards to you internally. And the minute you guys keep putting up this barrier and putting up this wall and saying, oh, me a man, me not sit down and talk with no bunch of man, it is going to get worse. You have to be bigger than that within yourself. It is okay for a group of men to sit down and talk about life. It is okay for a group of men to sit down and talk about struggles. It's okay for a group of men to sit down and share and find out what's going on with us, right? That we can try to improve ourselves and do better, that it wouldn't reach so much and the pressure wouldn't burst, that we decide that the only way to fix our problem is to tear down and to hamper and to harm and to put people 6 feet under. Because Platinum, right now, this is the time we are dealing with a lot of men are hurting, and the only how most of them are solving the problem is getting rid of women. And I'm not, trust me, I am not saying that some women don't contribute, because you have women out there, you ladies, you're not going to get away. You do certain things, you disturb certain things with men, right? You live a certain type of lifestyle, and you take certain things from men, and you accept certain things from men, you play around with men's feelings, and if the man isn't totally stable up here, he's going to snap, he's going to trip. So women, we have to be careful as well. Yes, you have to pay attention to signs and certain things, and we will see things going on. We will see the red flags, but maybe the man is putting a lot of money in your hands, and that money is like stick out whatever nonsense or whatever red flags you see in just for the money. And the minute you're ready to say you're walking away, it may be too late, because he is not going to let you go hands free, especially if it's an emotionally needy person. And this is where we need to have discussions. You know how many women died last year and died year before from domestic violence?
Who kill them?
Platinum,
No, me ask you a question.
Yeah, but we're trying to dodge from using the word plain. You understand?
Who is taking them out? Who's taking them out?
The men, Platinum.
What type of man take them out?
Platinum,
but
let me
What kind of man
let me add to that.
It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate. Any man, Platinum, at any time could wake up based on his mental. He could be wearing a suit and tie. He could be selling coconuts at the corner. He could be a fisherman. He could be a banker. He could be a prime minister. He could be in some type of office. It has nothing to do with what the man's look like. It's what's going on up here. And this is what people is being misguided by, and I'm tired of it.
It's not what the man look like. Now ask you that. Me say, what type of man take out the woman them? What type of man put the woman in 6 foot?
You see,
it's not discriminating. There's no specific type.
That's right. There's no specific man. I just say he look white, he look Caucasian. Men is men. And that's what we say.
Okay, so you answer the question. What type of man, Platinum?
No, the baby father them a kill the baby mother.
And we're not saying
they not kill nobody.
Oh, that's no.
It doesn't always that.
It's not always that.
It's always the father.
So, no.
The killing. I
say the man them when on a pit, they not kill the woman them.
So he's trying to say because he doesn't have children.
In my example, I was abusive to my son because I was a young mother. And the thing my mother did to me, I couldn't stop at my mom. So I stop at her when they things like when she say I used to like irritate more to my children. I will abuse them, and then come my son see me. as abusive, but is a neighbor recognize and she call her there and she say, I know I don't want to beat your son, and I'm trying now. I know your mother doesn't push you to that. So sometimes you see these dramas that parents put through, and we now take it on our children. And children grow up now to be man, and they take out this same abusive way to the woman.
Because that's
So
what
I
they
can't
learned.
consider
So,
that.
prime example, me, whenever I grew up with a mother and a father, me not abusive to no woman. Ask anyone of my woman, them, I just
But
want
you have
woman.
to say by
But because
being
that's
told.
I
you.
just want
Because
woman.
that
I just
is
want
you.
woman. Me ever
Michelle,
put my
you
hands
put
on
in
it.
the
No.
told.
One
Told
only.
to suck a bag.
Eh? Right in the air now.
Okay, platinum. Not everybody that suffer abuse in growing up, that doesn't necessarily mean they will become violent. But for the most
For generation, it come in for
part,
generation.
Dean,
Past, yeah.
right? A huge majority, they tend to exhibit violent behaviors. You have financial abuse, you have verbal abuse, you have mental abuse, you have psychological abuse, you have physical abuse. You have all types of different abuse. An abuser doesn't necessarily mean they just punch and they beat and they hit and they kick you.
Sexual abuse as well.
And sexual abuse. You have all these different types of abuse.
And that time, man, them will grow up with their mother and their father.
No, not all the time. It could be as well as it could be not. And even if you grew up with a mother and father, maybe the home was violent, okay. We're not saying no.
Michelle, something. I was married, and my husband was this kind of person. And my husband, once he gets sex, he become abusive.
Right.
Did your husband grow up with the mother and the father?
Both parents.
All right, see.
We didn't say that. We said possibility a child who grows up with both parents has a better foundation for life. That's what we're saying. Unlike a child who grew up with a single parent, does it always turn out like that? No. But for the most part, that is the ideal family model, that a child grows up with both mother and father.
That's right.
Unfortunately, in the black community, for most of us, it does not end up that way, right?
True.
So, and we need to stop running around it.
And them are the murderer. Them are the murderer.
The thing you have in your bag.
Mother and the father.
The thing you have in your bag.
What are?
The thing you have in your bag.
I murderer.
In the sucker bag. No.
How?
You need to go bring it out.
You want it?
Listen, we have to run.
You want it, be right, that's what you know.
Michelle, get us please.
All right, I give him applause. Listen, we have to round up. I see we have 2 people viewing us. Remember, our show is new. We started just 2 months. So eventually, as we go along, hopefully we build up. So whatever views, whatever audience you get, we're grateful for it. We appreciate. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And for those who joined in, you're watching the Pinky and the Brain Talk Show. I am Prestige ATM alongside my co-host.
Platinum on the money making machine.
Right, and we have in our guest room here, Lowell from Point Fontaine, Trinidad, joining us,
Thank you.
discussing and so forth. So we're getting ready to close up. And I think each of us will give our last closing, respectful views. And for me, I would say that the problem is rampant with men causing destruction. And we understand, gentlemen, that the problem is lying from a lot of childhood issues. We're not bashing you. We're trying to support you. We're trying to stand with you.
So you need to stand with me and support me.
Can I finish, Platinum? Can I finish? We're trying to support you. We're trying to stand by. We're trying to stand with you. We're not against you. And we understand you're hurting. And groups need to be formed. Forums need to be formed. And I know there are a lot of people in a lot of places who are forming groups and who are doing great things and trying to encourage men to come forward and sit down and talk. Because the only how we can resolve an issue, the only way we can resolve conflicts and situations is by talking, right? We have to learn that. However, with that being said, one of the big ways we can solve the problem is starting to try to focus and target young boys. Because if we can get a hold to implement certain things with young men, we may end up getting better results by the time they emerge into manhood, being a man. Because there, for many men presently, it may not be too late, but you may have for some men it might be late because it's harder to put certain sensibilities and certain actions and certain conversations into a grown man head, especially if he made up his mind and he's stubborn about it. But with a young boy, with a young man who's coming up, 12, 13, 14, I think we can still grasp, we can still teach, we can and guide in regards to what to, how to be a man, what is the ingredients, what is the essence, how we should treat a woman. And women, a lot of mothers out there, you have a big shoes to fill because a lot of women need, especially if they end up just being a single mom, they need to pick up the abilities of teaching and letting their sons know how to treat a woman. But then you have a backlash. If that woman never got the experience to from a man how she should be treated, how would she be able to teach this poor boy how women should be treated? So this is a whole mix up, but it can be repaired, it can be done, and we really need to grasp and try to figure it out. Myself, as a person I'm an educator, I deal with children. I try to implement and show them certain things when I interact with them and explain certain things and let them know. Because if we don't grab the young men from small to educate them on certain things about women and life and how to respect, the time they get into hard-blown teenager and 21, 22, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. You have young boys who are already raising their hands to hit young girls. And if you as an adult seeing that in a certain area and you're not stopping it, you are the encourager. You need to say, no, you're a boy. Boys don't hit girls, because you're going to turn into a man who, more than likely, you're going to hit women. It doesn't have to be, but more than likely. And I know within the Caribbean especially, we have this thing that we like to say, I'm glad when I was small, I got a good beating. It made me the person I am today. That is so wrong. I am totally against that. Because a lot of us got that beating and that abuse. There's a difference with beating and there's a difference with abuse. And a lot of us in the Caribbean, the type of cocktails or the type of licks that we got, it was abusive and hurt people. Because if you're teaching me to beat and you're teaching me to hurt when I go to school, when I'm in my relationship, that is what I'm going to demonstrate, because that is what I learned from you as the parent.
About the black society and black people do that.
So that is and let's be fair, you find mostly impoverished and low income parents, household, based on the stress and the financial burdens, we are faster to be very abusive onto our children, because it's twice as hard to then look for stuff for you to eat already, right? And then all this pressure, you need this and you want that and you're not listening and you're misbehaving. The first remedy is to pass blows. And this what goes on. A middle class or a family who is somewhat affluent, they demonstrate upbringings in a different way because their financial burden is not as much as a low income family. And these are all the dynamics we have to look at. I can go on and on, but let me turn have Platinum say his 2 cents, and then we'll take it to
Let me ask you a question, Prestige. Your mother beat you when you was a child?
My mother cursed me. She never hit me.
She never hit you?
My mother used to curse me.
And that used to bother you too?
And that bothered me. Yeah, because I would try to understand.
And look how you turn out.
What? Listen
look
to me.
Look how you turn out.
No, you're seeing the complete product. You're not seeing the product when it was building. You have only known me of maybe 15 whatever years.
Yes.
But there was somebody before that. So I had to work to that progress.
Okay.
Right? I had to work to really create and form this Prestige that you're seeing today.
So you create a wall then? You create a wall?
I had many different things I created, but then I had to understand that, wait, this is going to damage my life. I have to stop. I have to tear down walls. I have to learn how to accept love. I have to learn how to bring people in. I'll have to learn how to love people back. I have to learn how to treat people. I have to learn not to raise my hands towards men. Right?
So you used to raise your right. That's what I'm being, man. Then Prestige, I'm here. Round of applause. Let's get to the beat, man.
I had to learn how not to disrespect men, because this is a girl that I am talking based on things that I probably experienced and I saw in growing up. So children, within their attributes, they demonstrate what they learn, and that is why I'm telling you, when we grow up in certain households and we experience certain things, the minute we get into adult life, it's very hard for us to conform and become an adult, to love and to accept people, because we have all these walls and all these barriers we have to break down to bring people into our lives, and you cannot be whole, right, and pick up a half person. Two parties have to be whole, and oftentimes one half, one whole, or the two is halves. It don't work.
True.
But we can go on and on. Platinum, your last closing words, so we could jump on to Miss Lowell.
Let me say something to the man about here. If you find out, and I don't want you laugh, you know, and you always say, Platinum, you always talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you find out, say, a woman have a nice flamboyant, you call it?
Flamboyant. Make sure in the frame, honey.
Flamboyant vagina. And it's nice, and you're going crazy for it, and she decide to leave you, please walk away, get some help, get a therapist, I just find a next woman, and just go on with your life.
Platinum.
You don't have to kill.
That is easy for you to say, but for many men it's not that easy, especially if a man invests in a woman. And this is where it's coming from. I grew up hearing a man's money is his blood. It flows within his veins. And a lot of women out there, they take and they take and they take, and then they want to walk away. You can't be taking, and then ups one day you want to walk away. Depending on the man's mental, the last thing that he has, he is going to snap. And a lot of that is going on out there. There are men, as you rightfully said, in regards to the private part below the waist, right?
Me to say that?
If it's really good and he's hooked on it. Now, when a man is
Yeah.
when a man is all hooked into sex with a woman, that has nothing to do with love, you know. That has nothing to do with love. It's just an addiction. It's an obsession. And this is a thing that many people don't understand. A woman giving a man good sex and a man liking it has nothing to do with love.
With love.
When that feeling they coming at you.
You are thinking it's love, but it's not. And this is where also a lot of men get tied up and they don't have the proper mental or the proper understanding. Again, they probably didn't have a father to sit them down and explain that to them. So when they grow up and become this man, they're thinking because the woman put the goods on them and that's love and they're in love. So the minute she's trying to leave, he's going to snap. How dare you? If I cannot have you, nobody else can.
Because she have that Polo Spring.
Right.
A good chocolate bar.
So see, and this is your mind concept as well. So we want to make sure that we get into discussions and have discussions and make men come out and talk and express themselves what's going on. And there are certain things that we need to address. You finished with your final words?
Yeah, man, I'm done with my final. Because you say everything. You say everything for me.
Miss Lowell?
Yeah, well, again, so thank you for the opportunity. To be a part of the show. Thanks to the Kennedy Junior Richard for being partner of the woman. So in high 100. So in Adam, your man, 23.4. Adam, your man, 23.4. Come about on Saturday the match. Match. Where we from all society. Just to sit down. Have an avenue where they can speak. Have an avenue where they share. And knowing that we share, women love them and we hear them. Knowing that we women love because so many men are hurting because of and it's time that we make a difference. And it's time that we are looking to make that difference. And we are looking to make that difference as many point forward and so as many point forward around the borough point forward where they can share and they can share. And they can get a solution, and they can get moving forward to become a better man, to become a better society. And thank you, society.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Prestige, I think I should bring her on the show more often, you know.
Well, listen to me.
Yeah.
Go down to Trinidad, marry the woman, bring her up, give her some documents, right? And see how it could work because she likes you and you like her.
What? No one knows you like me. You like me?
Yes,
She
I
likes
like
Pinky,
it.
the
Yes, I like money making machine.
the character Pinky
Where's
she
money
likes.
making machine?
The money making
Come and
machine.
get some good food.
What till I say I don't have
Come
the
and get some
money?
good food. Get some good food. Some good bacon, good shark food. Some good bacon shark.
Oh my
Listen, my
gosh.
sweet boy.
I mean, after this type of discussion,
my
we have
sweet
to
boy.
be able to laugh.
Yeah, true.
We have to be able to laugh.
Who wants to see more upon the program, man?
But take one them take the bag, eh? That's not good. But take one them take the bag, eh?
I
That's
like
not good.
it.
Them take in the bag, pick it up.
Don't throw it in the
Them take in the
bag.
bag, pick it up. Yeah, it's
Pick
time
up my bag.
for to get some. Yeah, it's time for to get some heat. I cold, listen good enough.
You want to put me
I
on
cold,
child
listen
support?
good enough. Don't get them throwing arthritis. Don't get them throwing arthritis early.
Eh?
Throwing arthritis. This is arthritis early. Throwing arthritis early, man. Hold this
Yeah,
up the
tell you.
womb.
Oh my
Hold this up the
goodness
womb. Listen the
me.
bag. Mission that's
A child
not
support you
good.
want
Listen
to
the
put
bag.
on.
Mission that's not good. We hoping that
Say
the
what?
platinum will take it
Child
out.
support
We
you want
hoping
to
that
put
the
on.
platinum will take it out. Won't join into society and good. Won't join into society and good.
No, man. If all right, if me have a kid, if me have a child right now, I'm going to gunman.
Oh gosh, Platinum, that's not you know, it's time for us to go because you
My
you
child
are
will
really a
become a
hurt
gunman.
You are hurt man. You are really a hurt man. And I'm glad we had to stop.
I'm going to bring my pain. But me feel like world. And when he come in the world, I treat him the same way my father treat me.
See what's going on,
Come to my
Lowell?
house, you know.
So
You feel like-
he's trying to avoid having children
Yeah.
because of his
But we trust that, you know,
Right,
that
so he
will
needs to
come
talk
around.
to
We
someone.
trust that, you know, that he will come around and we'll continue that he will come to recognize that he will come to recognize. It's okay to say I'm sorry. It's okay to say I'm sorry. It's okay. We are here for you. We are here for you.
Who that? Who yourself said that?
So thank you.
Who yourself said that? Me? Or the
And who
father?
the favorite word there?
Oh boy.
No, me I said, who yourself said that? Say,
Say what?
you're sorry.
Say what?
Me or the father?
Your father and parents?
Yeah, them said that,
Good
right?
parents apologize to you.
No, them don't need to apologize. No, my grandmother show me the whole I love. Them don't need to apologize.
Bless
It
Granny.
just-
Bless Granny.
You see where the hurt
It
going?
just be for go on. It just be for go ahead with life.
All right.
When them go say, nah, I go change my
Yeah, but
point
you're
of
still
view.
locked up in the cool.
Yeah, oh,
You're
yeah,
afraid.
yeah.
All right, guys. So we are closing off. We are ending.
I saw let it out by you.
Oh, good. You're disrespectful, Platinum. This is first time you're meeting a woman. Oh my gosh, Platinum.
Say me have a lock up in the pool. That's me let it go pan I'm
All right.
twin.
All right, Lowell. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. All right, and we appreciate your time, your effort, your energy, your words, your wisdom, your knowledge, your love, your compassion. We appreciate everything. All
Thank you
right.
so much. Thank you
So
so much.
thanks
Thank
again,
you.
and we will definitely link up with you.
God bless you. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, nice. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, Mr. Platinum,
Yes.
this is where we end, and we had a pretty nice discussion.
Yeah.
And I clearly understand that you're going through some hurt, right?
Which part? Which part? Which part of me? Yeah, that be what I do.
You are going through some hurt, but it's time for us to end. We'll discuss that another time. And again, thanks, Lowell, for joining us. So we are wrapping up the Pinky and the Brain Talk Show, Prestige ATM.
Platinum, the money making machine.
Right, and tonight we were talking and asking, why are so many men hating and men are crying? They're crying out internally. You're not physically seeing the tears, but they are crying. And as a society, we need to try and take a step back and look, especially as women. We have uncles, we have sons, we have brothers, we have fathers. We need to ask questions. We need to understand what's going on. And women. Some of us sometimes can be contributions. You cannot expect to meet a man with everything. You never helped, you never assisted him towards making what he has. And upon leaving him, you want to take everything that he owns. If the man doesn't have a strong mental, a lot of times he is going to take you with him, or he's just going to take you out. So we need to be more sensible as women. We can't be that greedy and covetous to be grabbing and taking and wanting. because it's hard for a man to be working and struggling and sweating and trying to bring in our bread, and at the end of the day, the person he loves and he cares about and providing for, she decides to be out and she's taking everything that she never in the first place even put in there. Right?
Right.
So it's a wrap. The Pinky and the Brain Talk Show. We'll probably do a recording tomorrow, depending on how Platinum feels, and we'll post it up. But we wouldn't be doing a live tomorrow. We'll probably do a recording. And not every time we'll be doing streams. We'll probably do some recordings and put them up, right?
Yeah.
So keep it locked, guys. We'll see you. And I appreciate you very much.
And Presley gives.
All right, so as always, our tradition, we make our cheers, and you know what? It's okay to be fearful during the course of succeeding. That is what pretty much makes you get to the end of the road. So don't be fearful that if you try to succeed, you fail. Failure is what gets us back up, and failure is what puts us out there. So failure may seem negative, but it's a positive when we succeed. All right? So we are out. Pinky and the Brain Talk Show.
And a girl that's watcher, I want to hear her. And listen when the DJ say, Sim Simma, pass me the keys to my bimmer. Oh my, the girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my truck. Oh my, the girls them lock. And I we make